pretty good.
Actually, it's a functioning automobile. It's not a model.
First five.
You can't see the wheels.
Tula, 150.
The body.
Next five.
All around. So look at the car.
762 NATO.
How the hell do you steer it? Because the fender goes right over.
It's just some surplus shit.
When you turn the wheel, like a reptile skin, the fender expands the triangle. Yeah. And the whole fender is in, out. The body of the car actually comes apart by triangle. And when you get in the car, you put a button, and the steering wheel retracts, folds up, retracts, and the car drives itself.
Okay.
Let's try it. First in?
What's that?
First in?
Hi.
Been here before? Okay. Are you going to be on lane?
Y'all finished?
Christ.
Hey.
Go ahead. Just take that back a little bit to get your ID back.
Make sure
You're
you
all
sit
set.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
1 case at Portland.
5 is out.
Oh, no.
I'm waiting until it breaks. That head, squeegee head, it's combusted on the backside, but it should be all right for a little bit. May not make it through the entire.
What's going on, guys? Got a different review, kind of the same, but kind of a different review today, because I've told you guys in the past I don't like doing AR reviews because there's a billion of them on the internet and YouTube already. Today's gonna be a little bit different though, because we have an AR, but it's an AR-10 kind of platform. This is an M&P10, and yes, it did just take me that much effort to lift this fucking thing. Do I know the exact weight of it? No, it's just heavier than an AR-15, especially heavier than my MPR AR-15 from Ruger. It's definitely heavier than that. This is chambered in 308. I do not have any rounds around the table for comparison. I really wish I did. But trust me, it's a way hunkier round than a 5.56 or 2.23. As I said before, it's a 308. This video is going to be different. This video is going to go in a lot in depth with this rifle because, as you know, I haven't been putting out any new content because I've been running this gun through its paces to find out anything finicky with it. Always with kind of bigger caliber guns, I will definitely take a longer time putting out because bigger caliber guns will most likely present a bigger problem or a small problem that becomes a big problem that will piss you off if you're extremely OCD like I am, which is exactly what this gun did. Now, with that being said, I fixed it. She runs like a top. For the past 300 rounds, she's been running great. Okay, so back to this fancy schmancy rifle. And don't worry about it. We'll get to the optic and the mount and all that later. But we're just gonna go over the rifle. We're gonna do something that other people don't do. I'm gonna start at the nose and go back. So we have your standard A2 AR bird cage, flash hider. It's on there. Whatever. I don't plan on changing it off. You have your gas block, which is two set screws right here. This is your pinhole to keep in your gas tube. Now, I ran Magpul backup sights, you know, front here and in their back, just to see how this would do with irons, and it did perfectly fine. So we are going to get to this later for sure. That was the main reason what took me so long to get this video out. All right, you have your A2 handguards. Anything special about them? No, they're fucking handguards. Do I plan on changing out for a free float barrel? No, gonna give a fuck less. All right, now we have upper, lower. Let's start with the lower first. Fully ambidextrous. Right now, you're seeing the right side of the gun. So, ambidextrous safety, your bolt catch, your bolt release, mag release. all the same controls over here. Is your mag release though. This is the left side of the gun. Here's your mag release. I'm a left-handed long gunner. So there's that. Here's your catch. Here's your release. Awesome. That's that. I love it being fully ambidextrous. Now I'm gonna actually keep going back. So this buffer tube nut has not come loose. This rifle has exactly 600 rounds through it. This hasn't come loose. The only thing loose on this rifle is that. Do I care enough to change it out? No. Really could not care less. It has not messed with the accuracy of this rifle at all. So I shall keep it. So now we're going to get into the internals of this bad boy. Now, what I'm going to do is something that a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, that's so fucking annoying. Yeah, it can be, but I don't care, and I'm going to show you why in a little bit. Grab my keys. Ugh. So to break this down, what I like to do is I will sandwich this just like this. You will not be able, like that pushes out just a tad bit, but on a normal AR-15 you could just and then just pull the pin. I'm going to show you why you can't do that on this rifle. So I take my key, just a normal key. You could use anything you want, a Q-tip if you want. You push that out, and come around here, and as you can still see, I'm sandwiching. I'm pushing the upper and lower together, and then you pull that out. That was extremely hard to do. Well, not extremely hard. I mean, you could do it. It's no big deal. All right, put that out, and there goes your lower. Now, here's the fun part. The reason why it was so hard to do that. See those two little rings right there? Yes, my rifles are extremely wet, and I'm not being sexual, I promise. Those little rings are right there, little white guys. And you got two back here, okay? They act as a gasket or a buffering system to keep the lower and the upper from rattling from each other, which can decrease accuracy. So I love that the rifle is very rigid. There's no rattles in it. Love it. A+. Now, let's take out this hunking bolt, the bolt carrier group, and this obnoxiously long charging handle. Compare this to an AR-15 charging handle. You'll be like, what the fuck? You're not going to be able to interchange your AR-15 charging handle with the standard charging handle, and an ambidextrous charging handle for M&P10. The cheapest I found was $66. Am I going to spend $66 on a piece of fucking stamp, whatever this is? No, no, that's not happening. I'll just deal with shouldering it and then just ragging it with my left hand. All right, so now we're going to break down the bolt. Here she is. Here's the bolt control group, bolt carrier group. This bolt, cam pin, and as you can see, it's long. It's a 308. It's very robust. Okay, so to break it down, it's the same as an AR-15. Got your little cotter pin right here. Take that out, and we're going to do this step by step. Cotter pin. It seems a little bit longer than a normal AR-15. Do not quote me on that. I'm just giving my impressions. Here's what's definitely different from an AR-15. This has your firing pin spring. It's a return spring. Don't be intimidated by that, because it comes off just like that. And now you can clean the ever-living shit out of your firing pin. It's just a little spring like this. Ever since I got this gun, there's been... Come on, focus. Oh, fucking bitch. Whatever. Maybe you might be able to see it. This has like a tighter wrapped area than this side. Yeah, you could definitely see the difference. So all I kept on doing was just putting the tighter wrapped area after I clean the firing pin, and I would put it back on until it snaps right on, and you're good. Okay? Now we have our cam pin. Now notice this. The cam pin is going like that. Normally when you push that in with an AR-15, you would have to tilt it and then smack it out. You don't have to do that with this. So it stays just like this the entire time in the bolt carrier group. All right, as you can see, it has wear marks, but nothing to where I can get my fingernail and flick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, something's like deep, like you put your fingernail in it. No, it doesn't have anything like that. So that's a good sign. And then we have our fucking bolt. This thing is huge. It is thick as hell. All right. The way I clean these things are this part right here, especially. I'll use a steel wool while it's wet and just get around there. And then the rest of it, I'll steel wool actually in here too. Get all that crap out of there. And another thing I'll do while I'm drying it off is I'll make sure that my piston rings are scattered. Please focus. You're not going to focus. So, okay, well, I guess you can get a little bit of focus action in there. Focus? Not going to focus? Fuck you then. Whatever. But each one of these piston rings, let's just say they all shouldn't line up. Where the gap is for the piston ring, they all shouldn't line up. They should all be scattered along the bolt. That's it. All right. So to put it back together is just like an AR-15. Now, I already told you guys that I lubricate my firearms with Royal Purple motor oil. I've got told to use synthetic transmission fluid before. Hey man, I've been shooting for roughly 14 years or whatever. I just used just motor oil. I mean, if it's gonna stand up to the harsh heat and destruction and explosions and all other shit in your engine, should be able to withstand, you know, a standard range trip of 60 to 90 rounds or 100 rounds or something like that. So, put the bolt back together. Charging handle goes in the same. Remember, make sure the bolt is out, not in. Same thing as an AR-15. Nice healthy click. Let's grab our lower. Always close the dust cover first. Grab our lower. Snap that bad boy in. And as you can see, I'm pushing down too. Because those little rubber gaskets or whatever you want to call them, they make it hard to close. So now, the only thing you're hearing, as a matter of fact, let me take this damn thing off so you can hear. And now that you got these things rattling. But other than that, I'm twisting the upper from the lower. Nothing's happening. I love that rigidity. My AR-15 does not have that rigidity, which I really don't care, but I like it that I have it on here. Put that back on. Now let's get up to the nitty-gritty on the main reason why I wanted to wait so long to make a video on this rifle. This fucking thing right there. I don't know what Smith & Wesson was thinking, but they made these and they were like, hey guys, have fun with them. Maybe they wanted you to shoot extremely high pressured rounds through it or whatever, but story time. Got this rifle. You guys know I'm cheap as shit. I'm cheap as fuck, and I'm going to show you how cheap I am when I describe what I did with this. I'm cheap, so I bought 150 grain Tulamo, whatever you guys want to call it. $10 for a box of 20. So it's 50 cents per round. Awesome. Cool. Let's see how they run. First magazine, boom, shot perfect. Okay, cool. Second magazine, boom, shot perfect. Then I went out, and at my local range, I was shooting. I come out, and there's a table, and it has 7.62 NATO. And I'm like, oh shit, that's 308. We could shoot that through this. That's when this rifle started showing its ass. So, with that being said, I bought 10 boxes of these motherfuckers, and they were selling for $5 for 20 rounds. So I was like, bet. And they were brass cased. I was like, oh, hell yeah, give me All of them. I took the whole damn table, 10 boxes of them. Yeah, so I didn't shoot them that time. I went home, cleaned the gun. Another day, I go to the range, and I wanted to test these rounds out. I shot 2 of these fucking rounds, and out of nowhere, the rifle started short stroking. And I'm like, oh my God. For those who don't know what short stroking is, the bolt, when you fire the gun and it wants to actually do its job, it comes all the way back. That really hurt a lot. And it'll strip up the next round, pick it up. Short stroking, obviously exactly what it is. It does that. Or what it was doing, it was stovepiping. So it would want to come out, and right before it threw the shell out, it would catch it. And it would be hanging out the side of the rifle. And I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Yeah, that really does suck, man. I guess I can't shoot these rounds. So I went back and I started shooting my steel case again. Then my steel case started doing it. Okay, now we have a fucking problem. I don't like that shit. I decided to amp up my game, and I bought a box of, I think it's X pack something PMC, but it was like $1 per round. And this was 168 grain, full metal jacket, brass case. This is the top of line shit you can get. I mean, it's probably more or much better ammo, but whatever. This is the most expensive shit I was willing to pay to see if what was wrong with this rifle. Next thing you know, boom, first round, fucking bolt didn't move. It literally felt like you were shooting a bolt action rifle. Those who know, bolt actions, they have recoil that'll break your fucking shoulder off, especially in a 308 or 30-06, something like that. Every round I had to constantly physically eject it, physically eject it, physically eject it. It was getting so fucking annoying. Now, I learned from my Bear Creek Arsenal upper that in an AR platform, if your bolt is not acting correctly, if your ejection pattern is weird, if you're stovepiping, if you're short stroking, something like that, something's wrong with the gas system. So, I went home. Actually, first I went to AutoZone, picked up some brake cleaner. So I brake cleaned out the entire gas system. This was about, I want to say 300 rounds in. Yeah, I was just shooting a whole bunch of steel case, and then I found that one deal. This is like about 300 rounds in. So I went, sprayed this entire gas tube down, and I was looking down the barrel. Fluid was coming right out the barrel. Okay, cool. Maybe my gasket, I didn't clean it good enough. So I took my trusty Ryobi, which my phone is laying on right now, so it can be upright. Took my Ryobi, put some Q-tips in it, put some brake cleaner in it, put some Q-tips through it. It was disgusting. I was like, all right, maybe that was a problem. Maybe it was all gummed up. Wrong. Sprayed brake cleaner through that. It was pouring out. Everything looked fine to me. Put the rifle back together. Needless to say, this was a 3-time trip in one day trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with this gun. So, I go back to the range. She's doing the same exact thing. Holy shit, you gotta be kidding me. So, I go where I bought the firearm from, and I'm like, hey guys, my gun's acting stupid. Oh, call Smith & Wesson, customer service is amazing. I don't have, very good experience with companies and firearms and customer service and this, that, and the third. Smith & Wesson proved me the fuck wrong real quick. They were like, all right, dude, we're going to send you a FedEx label. Send the gun to us. Just separate the lower and upper from each other, and that'd be that. We'll unfuck your gun. I was like, oh, shit, that was awesome. I'm a tuner. I like fiddling with things. So I was about to break apart my rifle and send it to him and have him unfuck it, but I didn't know how long it was going to take. I like my guns home. Let's just put it that way. So I did a little surgery on her. Took the handguards off, and I was just looking everything over, and I'm like, everything seems fine. This is weird. What I did notice, though, the gas tube is hanging out further than that little notch right there, okay? Before, it was hanging back there. So I was like, oh, shit, okay. And this is going to be a long story, so guys, hang in there. But I'm just telling you this just in case you want one of these motherfuckers and you come with the same experience as I did, all right? So I was like, that's really weird. So I looked at an M&P10 online, and I looked at where the gas tube was. I was like, my shit is way far forward. And I'm looking at the gas block, and I'm like, I don't think it moved. Fuck it. Let's try it anyway. So I unzipped these two. Sure enough, this gas block moved forward, like I would say 3 or 4 millimeters, to where it completely cut off. And on top of the barrel, after you move your gas block, there was just a whole bunch of carbon buildup right there. So I cleaned all that shit off, and I'm like, all right, let's put this back. Boom, I put the gas block back, zip it down. I didn't do any torque spec or whatever. I just Ryobi zapped it back on there. Went back to the range, put the steel case in that I know that worked, and it worked. Cool. So I was like, all right, let me try the 7.62 now. Maybe that'll work. Short stroke the shit out of it. But the bolt was moving. It wasn't locked anymore. It was short stroking, short stroking, short stroking. So I noticed when I took the gas block off that I don't know why the fuck Smith & Wesson did this. The hole that they put in the barrel to release gases into the gas block is tiny as fuck. I mean, small as shit. And I was just like, we're going to open that shit up. I don't care if I overgas the damn gun. I really could not give a fuck less. At least it'll be reliable. That's what I want. So I took a 5/64. That may sound crazy, but that was the size that I had on the drill box. And I drilled it out. And I drilled it out nice and slow. I didn't want to have any of that blooming effect, you know, through the barrel. So I did it nice and slow, sprayed it with WD-40, nice and slow, drilled it out, cool bet. Realigned the gas block onto the barrel, put everything back together, took it to the range. It shot the steel case perfectly fine. It shot the 7.62 by 51 NATO perfectly fine. It shot that PMC super high class ammo perfectly fine. Awesome sauce. Great. My rifle is running perfectly fine now. That was my daughter in the back that you just heard. So that's just a little hint for you guys if you run across that problem. With that being said, I really hope that helps out people who are having problems with their firearms, not ejecting, short stroking, or just blatantly just not moving the bolt whatsoever. Now that I got that out. Other than that, there has been zero issues with this firearm, okay? Told you before, we talk about this. This setup is extremely, extremely cheap, and I'm kind of ashamed to say it. I'm very, 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 very bad when it comes to being cheap. Okay, so this scope is a CV Life. I got this off of Amazon for, I think it was $32. Okay, did I think it was going to work on a 308? No, I didn't think it was going to work at all, to be honest with you. But after I zeroed it, I unzeroed it on purpose just to see how it went. So, took the scope, I put 10 clicks right, 10 clicks down, 10 clicks left, and then 10 clicks back up, which means it should have been back at its original 0. It went right back to its original 0. So I was like, okay, I'm going to keep this scope on here. There's no reason to change it. If it works, don't fix it. This mount, I had a mount on here before that was a screw-in mount. And every single time I shot, like 20 rounds, it would loosen up. And I was like, fuck that, I want one of those cinch-down mounts. So I went online, and I looked up cinch-down mounts for AR-15. Yeah, AR-15, because you could, it's the same Picatinny rail, whatever. AR-15, AR-10, same mount, whatever. So I found this one, and I bought it for $15. This thing is sturdy as hell, and I've shot a lot of rounds through this. So all I did was I cinched it down, and then I took an Allen key in there, and I zipped it all the way tight. It was $15 online, and I did not know, because I just saw it and I was like, oh, it looks really gnarly. I did not know it was an airsoft mount. Yes, I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of shit for it, but like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. This thing has not broken on me, so I'm not fixing it. Also, it has 6 mounting screws per, what is that, ring? Scope ring? Something like that. Whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. So, other than that, we can go through trigger pull and whatnot. I never actually even did that before. I never even felt the trigger. But it's heavy. I can tell you that. Reset. Feels like a mil-spec trigger off an AR-15. yeah, this has been a lengthy video, and I'm glad I made it, because some people who get frustrated with their firearms would rather get rid of them than unfuck them. I am the complete opposite. I've never gotten rid of a firearm that I couldn't fix. Then again, I never owned a high point, so don't hold that against me. But other than that, guys, I'm going to let you go. This has been almost a 24-minute video. Before this, you'll see me shooting my steel-cased tool ammo. If you want, drill out the gas, I'm going to call it the gas release, whatever, on the barrel. It's a 5/64. Do not make it too big. Other than that, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this review. I enjoyed making it for you. So, put this baby to rest. I just actually cleaned her. So, I'm going to go load up some magazines and go shoot. Other than that, have a good day. I'm not going to... Actually, I am. I just bought a SIG 320. That's going to be my new gun. So, guys, stand by for that. Other than that, have a good day. Check you later.